The British toy company Palitoy produced an almost countless number of legendary toys that had a tremendous impact on the childhoods of generations of youth. Yet back in the 1970s and 80s, the style of packaging used to sell these toys looked very different to how they are sold in the present day. At that time, Palitoy was heavily reliant on the dynamic artwork printed on the boxes, which got children excited about the product inside. And today I would like to shine the spotlight on a freelance graphic artist who created more Palitoy packaging art than any other. An artist and gentleman who sadly passed away in April 2025. Dave Barnacle, or Barney as he was fondly known to his Palitoy friends, was owner and managing director of Ray Hastings Studios, and his long-running collaboration with Palitoy first started in the early 1970s, when he took on the task of supplying the Action Man packaging art, creating some celebrated illustrations that collectors seek out and cherish today.
I had a studio, it was called Ray Hastings Studio. I was asked by Ken Moore to do some Action Man artwork. Yeah, I did that one, and all that range of key figure boxes.
Dave's stunning Action Man packaging designs were not simply an artistic depiction of the toy inside the box. They were a form of visual storytelling that inspired a myriad of childhood adventures that played out in bedrooms and backyards all over Britain. It's also a major reason why vintage collectors don't just scour the globe for Action Man toys, they collect the packaging too, because they can't get enough of those old pieces of cardboard that are adorned with Dave's immense talent. In fact, in Action Man collecting circles, Dave is almost as well known for his concept art pieces, which represent Britain's favourite boys' toy in a variety of uniforms and outfits that never saw the light of day at retail.
What Dave used to do was the illustration, and actually he used to make up the scenes himself, and then there'd be an overlay with all the text. So you'd have a basic illustration, overlay with the text, and an overlay with the stars. And in fairness to Dave, Ken Moore took that to the printers and printed it on both sides of the Scorpion tank box. So instead of there being 10 stars, you got 20 stars. And you only needed 21 to get a new Action Man figure.
I think in that particular instance, I only had to do the artwork for either one or two sides, probably one side.
Yeah, I think
it was repeated all the way around the box.
Yeah.
In fact, in those days, they could only print on that material in two colours, couldn't they?
That's right, it's two-colour print, yeah.
So there's no point in doing 4 bits of artwork for 4 sides, just to do one and just put repeat. But of course, it wasn't intended that the stars repeat. That was on overlay, as Jeff said.
Yeah.
Dave Barnacle would go on to produce the majority of packaging for toys in the growing Palitoy range, from Tiny Tears and Pippa, through to other toys such as the Talking Batmobile, a Star Trek board game, and many, many more. When Palitoy brought the American Mego-produced action figures to the UK market, they famously changed the artwork on the card backs. And Mego enthusiasts universally agree that the British packaging art is easily the best and most desirable, and many of these examples, such as this Planet of the Apes card back, were drawn by none other than Dave Barnacle.
No, I did some stinkers. I did some I didn't particularly like.
In 1978, Dave won a Silver Star Award from the Institute of Packaging for his work on a range of Action Man toy packages. Then, when the Star Wars license was taken on by Palitoy for the UK market in 1977, he produced the packaging for the much sought after cardboard Death Star playset, with his son young Dave being the child in the photo on the box.
I got a mock-up of the actual product, so it was really just showing the product mainly, but put a kid in there playing with it, and we used my son as the model. Seemed easy to use my lad.
In the early 1980s, Dave Sr. would continue his work on Star Wars by designing numerous Palitoy advertisements, and he also came up trumps when he designed the iconic packaging style for the new Action Force concept. During his time working on Action Force, Dave proved that he was also an excellent graphic designer, as he was responsible for the art direction and set design of many Action Force packaging photos.
I was under pressure all the while. Everything was wanted in a rush. Everything was wanted by a certain date, and I think Bob mentioned earlier on, I did tend to leave everything to the last minute. I had to be under pressure to do anything, so
In later life, Dave Barnacle would attend many toy conventions and other events, and would happily talk with visitors and share his knowledge and memories of working on Palitoy's toy packaging.
There have been Action Man collectors fairs and things, and I've gone along, and it's been my 15 minutes of fame. Still is my 15 minutes of fame.
Dave was a supremely talented and hard-working, yet modest man, who remained lifelong friends with many of his former toy industry colleagues, and his immense contribution to Palitoy's legacy can never be overstated. May you rest in peace now, Barney, and on behalf of the Action Man, Action Force and Palitoy collecting community, we would like to sincerely thank you for helping to create such a wonderful experience for an entire generation of children, both British and the rest of the world. Godspeed, kind sir. You will be missed by all who knew you.